Simplifying Lightroom's batch processing with Luminar Neo is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. All right, so the topic today came from a really good friend of mine, Brian Essler. He called up and asked how he could batch process his images from Lightroom into Luminar Neo and then back into Lightroom again. Now, there's several reasons why people may want to use this workflow. Lightroom is incredible for organizing your images, a digital asset manager, all right, a DAM. So it's incredible for that. Maybe that's one reason. Or maybe you prefer to use Lightroom's raw processor over Luminar Neo. Whatever it is, Luminar Neo is going to help you in between. His issue was, if he had, let's say, 50 images, he hated exporting individual images into Neo, do the change, bring it back in again. So this little trick is going to show you how to batch process and make it simplified with Lightroom and Luminar Neo. All right? So here I am. I'm inside Lightroom, and here's a photo shoot I did of a bunch of little wrestlers. Let's say I go through and I flag my favorites. Well, I'm going to take all of these flagged images and I'm going to use a collection called To Be Processed. And I'll just drag and drop them into that area. So now I know inside Lightroom, those images, I have to process them. When I'm done processing them, I can remove them from this catalog. All right. So let's say we'll come to this little kid here. I definitely want to crop it. So I'm going to come in and there's my crop, let's say. And let's say I did process it using Lightroom's raw. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it here. But keep one thing in mind. If you decide to export it, even if you're only using it as a plugin into the Luminar, remember now, it's not a raw file. So if you're going to decide to start in Lightroom, unless you do a different procedure, right now I'm going to export this as a TIFF. So all the raw stuff is gone. I did that in Lightroom. All right. Now, with that being said, let's say G for grid. I have all these images. I'm going to select all of them and right click, and I'm going to export these images. Where am I going to export them to? Well, I'm going to export them to a hard drive. So make sure on this drop-down menu, hard drive is selected. Now, where am I going to put it? Now, this is the really, really cool part. I created a folder called Erase Me. Notice I put underscore erase me. Where did I put that folder? In my root folder of all of my photos. So underscore photography is the root folder. So I'll browse to it so you can see it. So here I am, photography, and this, of course, is not my entire catalog, but let's say here is where all my images are. Well, underscore erase me, I'm going to create a folder in there, and now that puts it on top. I'm going to double click, select it as a folder. How do I want to export it? Well, since I know I'm going to use it, or I'm going to continue with my edits, I'm going to export it as a TIFF because it's going to give me the highest quality possible. I'm not going to compress it. I do want to make sure I use the Adobe RGB 1998 color space. Now, I'm going to export it. And now it's going to do its thing. Up here it's showing me exporting. And we're almost done. There. Now I exported it. Now let's go into Luminar Neo. Look at this. It automatically appeared. How cool is that? Luminar has active files. So the folders are active, meaning whatever I put into that folder will automatically appear inside Luminar Neo if I put, obviously, that folder in my collection. So notice over here, right here, I did add underscore erase me. So I just clicked on here, add a folder, underscore erase me. Now the images are inside Luminar Neo. From here, this is where I'll start doing my edits. Now I created a preset, but you know what? I'll show you how I did it real quick. So let the hard drive spin up one moment. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a typical edit that somebody would actually do, batch process, and then shoot it back over. All right, so here I am. First thing I definitely do for my sports grit look is my dramatic tool. Look at that. That one tool automatically gives me what I'm looking for. Let's take the brightness down a little bit. Ooh, right about there. Oh, I love that. So there's my dramatic tool. While I'm here, let's do a little portrait retouching on the face. And what I want to do is make the eyes really intense. So I want to enhance the eyes, maybe get rid of some of the dark circles underneath the eyes. All right, and even though these are children, I am going to do a little skin softening. Not a whole lot, but just enough. All right, let's see the difference. Here's before. There's my grit look. I love it. I can save it as a preset. Done. Now I'm pressing L for the library view or the catalog view. Notice if this is gold. Well, I'm going to press Control or Command A. I select all the images. Now, because that's gold, right-click, Adjustments, Synchronize Adjustments. It's going to take what's in gold and apply it to all the rest of the images. So now that I did that, notice each one of them has that same treatment I gave to this image. And this is where quality control comes in. So you can go in and view each of those images to make sure it meets your standard. Now we have it all set. Here's the fun part. Select all, right-click. I'm going to export all these new changes. Where am I going to export them? Well, inside Lightroom, I had a folder called, let me get to it. Oh, here we go. I have a folder, _photography, the wrestling, the team shoot. Well, this is where I want to put the completed images. I want to put them back in the same folder that they came from, but not in the same, in the same directory it came from, but not in the exact same folder, because I want to keep it separate. So here's where I put it. Now that I did that, select the folder. Let's make sure we have the correct settings. I want to make sure that I am using Adobe Adobe Camera Raw. Adobe Color Profile 1998. So Adobe RGB. This is all set. I'm going to bring it back as a JPEG because I'm done with the edits. And in my opinion, the JPEG quality is still extremely well, and I'm not doing any more edits. If I were going to do more edits, then I would go back in and export it as a TIFF because we're going to bring it back into Lightroom now. So here it is, taking its time. It's going to take the image or all the changes we made to each image. It's applying it on the export. It's going to export it to that new folder that we have. And the moment it's done, we're going to go back inside Lightroom, and you're going to notice something a little bit different. Oh, I already had one in there, so I can either replace it, skip it. I'm going to skip it. And by the way, that showed up because during rehearsal, I didn't clear that folder. Give it one more. There it is. Now we're done. Let's go back into Lightroom. There we are. Now notice, here's that complete folder. Notice they're not there. What Lightroom has to do is this. You have to right-click, synchronize folder. So if you ever lose your images, try this trick first. Just right-click, synchronize, and boom, there they are now. Look at this. There it is, with all the changes we just did. All right? Pretty cool. Now, what I would do one step a little bit further is now that they're in the _complete folder, let's do a little file management, all right? Because I don't need those other folders anymore. So let me get back to here. So, or all those other images rather. So since I don't need these images, remember, that's why I named it Erase Me. So I know that what's ever in this folder isn't important. So I'm going to select all of them, right click, move to trash, and make sure I empty the garbage. There it is. And now I'm ready for the next batch. So just that one little step, you only have to create that underscore erase me one time. And then from there, inside Lightroom, just throw everything into that underscore erase me, and it automatically will appear inside Luminar Neo, make your changes, and then you can save it wherever you want. The final output, in my case, my recommendation is put it back in the root folder of those images, underscore complete. So now if I'm sifting through, or if one of these kids call me months and months later and says, hey, do you remember you took my photo? I could just go right to that folder, the root folder, underscore complete, find the edited image, and then shoot that off to them. All right? So I hope you found that very, very helpful. Now, I do have a little surprise for you. This link right here, because you're a Skylum insider, if you click on this, we'll have special upgrade discounts, and perks just for the insiders group. But keep in mind, when you click on this link, it'll take you to the regular page, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll click on the part where it says, I'm already an owner, what's my price or what's my special price? You'll put your username in, and then from there, it'll give you any of the special perks that are available to you and any extra discounts that are available to you because, again, you're a Skylum insider. All right? Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Now, if you're here during the live session, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment, where you can ask any questions whatsoever pertaining to the topic or anything whatever photography related, troubleshooting Luminar Neo, to proper lighting gear, to what camera should I buy, you name it. Anything photography related, you're welcome to ask us. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next coffee break.